all going down, yeah, all gone down. But from your center you can see it's just going up and around. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe it in, breathe it out.
Hi guys, it's me, Ikaika, and this is my voice 4 weeks on testosterone. Can you hear the difference?
This is my voice 1 day on testosterone.
This is my voice 1 month on testosterone.
Yeah, and I changed my name to Ikaika. So Ikaika is Hawaiian. It means strong warrior or strength of a warrior, and you can call me Kaika or Kikes. People from Hawaii would use that term, like Kaika or Kikes. But I noticed that people from the mainland or people who are not familiar with the Hawaiian language call me Kai, because it's easy to remember. So, you know, if you're Haole, you can call me Kai. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. When I say Haole, I just mean people who are not native to Hawaii. Okay, so this week has been interesting. I've had trouble sleeping, and I'm not sure if it's because of the extra energy, because of tea, or because of the solar flares, or because of like the astrological stuff. But I have been it's been hard to sleep. I've been sleeping more in the daytime. My doctor is giving me melatonin. That's a supplement that you can get over the counter. So I don't know if anyone else is having that issue, but I've been doing push-ups every night because I'm loving the way my shoulders and my chest feels, and like my triceps. I gained 5 pounds in 2 weeks. In week 2, I weighed in at 98, and in week 4, I'm weighing in at 103, and I can see it on my shoulders and my chest and my belly. I've been coming up on some masculine competition in the gym, and I'm learning to control my mind, because at first it's like guys stare at me in the gym and I have to make sure I'm not turning that into something else. When I was pre-T, I didn't notice people staring at me because I was always in my own world, had my headphones on, and I was just fucking someplace else all the time. And now that I'm more in my body, I'm more aware of what's going on, and I'm more aware that people are fucking staring at me in the gym. And I'm trying to shut off my head, because my brain will tell me things like, oh, these guys are fucking being disrespectful, and oh, like they like making assumptions about how other people feel when they're staring at me, when really they could just be trying to figure me out, like, oh, is that a trans dude? Like, I see like the tape, I use KT tape, right, and it's black, and my wife beater's white, and so you can see through it. I don't give a fuck. I've never given a fuck. I'm proud to be trans. But people stare, and I have to, for me, let people have a couple of seconds to figure it out. So, because it's natural to look when you've never seen something before and you're a little bit curious. It's human nature. So I allow those couple of seconds. But once it becomes like rude, when I make eye contact with that person, that means stop fucking staring at me now, you're making me uncomfortable. And if that person doesn't back down from my stare, that's when things could get messy. But I'm not, it hasn't even gotten to that point, you know, and I really have to check my ego, and let my ego know that everything is okay. And people don't want to harass me. Like, I don't want to assume that people want to harass me, because there's a sort that can create a lot of suffering, and it could maybe even not be true, you know. And then another thing I'm noticing is that when I used to get harassed by cis guys pre-T, it was more scary. Because being seen as female and being bullied by a group of men, that's more scary. But if you're seen as male and you're being bullied by a group, it doesn't even fucking faze me. It doesn't faze me. I'm not, like, as a female, when I was seen as female, if a group of guys started bullying me, I would hold my ground and fucking act and pretend like a chihuahua, right? Acting like a pit bull. That's how I was. And I was really scared inside. And as soon as I had gotten away from them, I fucking pretended that I was not scared at all. But once I walked away, I would start crying because holy fuck, that was scary, you know? But now, in situations where I feel like there could be some masculine friction, competition, I'm not scared because I don't know why. It's part of it is not being seen as female anymore. So the rape part is gone. With that itself is scary as fuck, right? Being beat up and raped is two completely different things. So there's a different energy when a group of men who are bullies are rapey. It feels very different from a group of men who just need to push around someone who's smaller because they're really insecure. And I tap into that insecurity, and I realize that masculine bullies are just really insecure and powerless people. I'm more powerful even though I'm smaller. And so I notice that there's much less fear. If a guy is twice my size and he's staring at me in a fight way, I mean, this hasn't happened, but if it did happen, that's a lot easier to handle than if it was rapey. Does that make sense? Because when you step to a guy, when it's masculine to masculine, it's just about the alpha thing. It's just about, hey man, I have a fucking right to be here. I'm not gonna back down because you're staring at me, fool. That's basically it. And I feel that the alpha masculine will respect when you fucking step. Like, I ain't scared of you. You're not dominating me. There's a level of mutual respect there. It's like, okay, you cool type, right? But the rapey energy is different, and it's all about gender, you know? Like, it's all about gender. I'm doing really well. I've been processing a lot of grief, and really coming home. I feel like the first couple weeks on T, I was out and like exploring my body and the way I feel and my new focus and my new identity. And now I'm like coming home to the feminine. The feminine's like, did you have fun playing outside with the boys? And I'm like, yeah, I did. I'm hungry. And coming home to the feminine, and again, the feminine is my heart, and the feminine is my feelings, and the feminine is my intuition and divine guidance. So I come home to her, and I've been feeling grief come up, you know. And again, I don't even know if it's all my grief or I'm tapping into like the collective masculine. For those of us who transition that are also non-binary, or maybe even if you don't even consider yourself binary, everyone has masculine and feminine traits. So when you're in a masculine and you tap into your feminine, like, that's healing for all of humanity, straight up. A lot of times I'm not sure. Last night I was like laying in my bed all fucking depressed, and my niece and her husband FaceTimed me, and they're like, why are you sad? And I'm like, I don't know, but I gotta feel this out. And a lot of times we don't have to know what the grief is about. Like, sometimes it's better to just shut off the mind, because the mind can contribute to the grief and create problems and scenarios and delusions that aren't even real. And a lot of times all we need to do is just sit with it and just feel it till it's gone and give love to it, rather than, you know, like, just really, really, really minimize your mind and try not to let the ego add to the grief, because the ego creates like unprecedented levels of unnecessary drama. And a purge can be a lot smoother when you're just laying there. I listen to Sophie Yogo, I don't even know how to say that word, like isochronic beats on YouTube. I listen to that when I'm like purging grief. It's coming up, and I just fucking lay there and I feel it, and I just shut off my mind, and it goes a lot faster and it's a lot less painful than if my mind were to be like, well, nobody loves you because you're trans and no one's ever gonna love you and blah 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 and blah blah blah, and you know, like, shut the fuck up. Shut up, just shut up. And then sometimes I let my ego fucking do what it wants, say whatever it wants, but I'm just chilling in the soul, you know, like in that, just observing what the ego is saying. And then after I process that, I can go back to like, being a boy. Anyways, I'm coming up on 21 minutes and I feel like I said a lot. So I love you guys. I am gonna see you guys later.